Right, I'm going to do a quick review of my latest rifle. This is a rifle I've been looking at for a long time. I've shot it in several variants and I've bought the latest variant. And it is the Daystate Huntsman Revere. This is the latest incarnation of this Daystate's oldest in production rifle. In fact, this was one of their very first rifles that they started producing, and this is the new version, and it's got some notable different features from all the previous incarnations. The main one being, and the most obvious one, is the fact that it is now a side lever, and also it has a different magazine system to all the others. This one's fitted with a Huma air regulator, and the first impression you get upon seeing this when you get it out of the box, and something that I'd really forgot out of my mind, how small and compact these rifles are. When you see them on the magazines and things and see people shooting them, they generally appear much larger. But when you actually pick one up and get to see one in the flesh, they're actually quite a small, compact rifle, which is something I really like. It's also a very light rifle. I think it weighs about 6.5 pounds, which is very, very light for a full-size sporting rifle that delivers full power and quite a decent shot count as well. So, as you can see, really nice. Traditional, very traditional rifle. About as far removed from a Delta Wolf as you could possibly get, you could say. Walnut stock, beautiful walnut stock made by Manelli. And it's got to be said that whoever designed this stock really knew his game. Apparently it was designed by a Belgian shotgun stock designer. Now whether that's true or whether that's just a legend or a lore, I don't know, but I'll say this, this rifle certainly feels like it was designed by someone who was used to designing stocks on rifles that needed to come up onto the aim very, very quickly. It comes up really quickly to the point, sits in the shoulder beautifully. It feels like a driven game, these continental driven game rifles that they used to shoot wild boar. So it just comes up to the shoulder really, really quickly. I mean, it really does. It is like, you can tell it is like a shotgun. It just, and you're there, you know, there's no fidgeting about trying to get comfy with it. It just comes up beautifully on aim. Really, really nice. It's got a raised rollover cheek piece, which is beautifully done. Really nicely crafted. It's got a palm swell, which also is really, really nice. See that there, the palm swell. It's got a nice groove for putting your thumb in, thumb shelf, if you want to shoot with your thumb up, like seems to be quite popular these days. The checkering is superb. It's really well executed and runs all the way up virtually the front of the stock, the bottom and both sides, and it's got some bite to it. It's really got some bite to it, and likewise nice checkering on the pistol grip. Daystate etched into the woodwork along with the Daystate logo, and yeah, it's a lovely, lovely stock, nicely capped off here with a bit of, I think it's rosewood, it's capped off, as you can see, rubber recoil pad, and all in all, it's just really well designed. I mean, it properly, in the hand, this thing feels beautiful. It really comes up to the shoulder well. It's very, very comfortable. And as long as you're not using a scope that's ridiculous, it really does feel really well made for the job. So the action is like a matte black now. In fact, all of the metalwork is like a matte black now. So there's no more of that sort of mix and matching from sort of blued steel and whatnot to a matte black finish. Everything's matte black. Barrel, shroud, the cylinder, the end cap and the action are all matte black, and they give it a sort of mean and purposeful look. The barrel's a Lothar Walther match barrel, shrouded, and in all fairness it gives some degree of silencing, but I would say that really to make the most out of this you do need to put a moderator on it, and it is threaded for a standard UNF moddy at the end there, so no problems at all putting a moderator on it. And if you put a moddy on this, these things are very, very quiet with a moddy on. Really, really good. Unlike most Daystates, it doesn't fill from the Foster fitting like most Daystates do. This one has a probe, and the probe goes in the end here. It's got a twist cap. And the holes there. See that? And then a twist cap to cover it. All very smooth, all very nice. Manometer in the end, and the Huma Air regulator gauge is sat in the bottom. It's got a really nice top-notch trigger on it, 2-stage, fully adjustable, but as it comes from the factory, I must admit mine is pretty much perfect for hunting, exactly how I'd like it, to be fair. It's really nice, really crisp, very predictable, no problems at all with the trigger. The trigger's superb, very, very nice. It's got the safety catch on the back, as is fitted to a lot of Daystates these days, just a little red switch with a little red button for safe and fire. And like I said, this is a side lever action. Now this has drawn a lot of flack in the press and whatnot from the various forums, Daystate forums and airgunning forums, saying that it's spoilt the looks of what is a very handsome rifle. And I've got to admit, I don't agree with them. I actually think that the new action with the new side lever is actually nicer, and I think better looking and less cluttered than the one that had a dirty great big chrome bolt sticking out the back. I mean, for one thing, a big chrome bolt's not exactly ideal for field use, and I thought it spoiled the lines. I think this is a much more slimline and slender and better look overall than the bolt action version. But I've never owned a bolt action version, so I'm coming at this from a slightly different angle perhaps. This is the first Huntsman I've owned, but I actually prefer this. If you put that side by side with the bolt action version, I like this one better. I think it's a neater back end. It all just flows into itself much, much neater. And they've slightly changed the receiver as well. It's now got like this sort of angled cut on either side as well, which makes it flow into the barrel a bit more. Now, the only thing I would say about the side lever is, like I say, I actually think the side lever looks better. I think that looks better, neater, less cluttered than having a big chrome bolt sticking out the back of the rifle. But the only thing I would say is that certainly in the sub 12 foot-pound version, it's such a light action needed to cock it, it's next to nothing, that you don't really need that to grip onto. And I'd have preferred to have seen the sort of flat end bit like you get on the air arms when they switched from bolt action and started making their air arms S series with a flat end bit side lever. So it's just got like a little flat bit that you just grab on and pull back, because there's literally no effort required at all on this. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. So I'll just fire that off. There's nothing in the mag. Yeah, so there's no effort involved in it, so I don't know why it has to be so long. And I'd have preferred a flat one like this fitted onto the air arms range of rifles personally. Having said that, there's nothing wrong with this, and I quite like it. but I possibly will be taking this off. I might even just take the bolt bit off, because it does unscrew from the top, and then just use it as a side lever with your finger, because that's all you need. It might be slightly different on the high powered ones, the FAC versions. Maybe they do need slightly more leverage to cock one. I wouldn't know, because I haven't got one. This is sub 12, and it needs no effort at all. So I'd be quite happy to just leave it with my finger and just you know, bring it up on the aim, and then just use a finger to cock it. It doesn't need any more than a finger. So you don't need that big bolt. So if it bothers you that much, you can take it off and just use that as is. And that possibly is what I will be doing with this. But I think, like I say, I think the side lever is a much nicer. It gives it really clean lines. And talking of clean lines, I don't think this is the sort of rifle that you're going to be sticking a huge telescopic sight on it. I think you're going to spoil it. If you put a big telescopic sight on this, you're going to ruin it. This needs a small, slimline field telescopic sight rather than some dirty great big target one with a big side wheel or whatever on it. And the other thing, talking about the telescopic sight, it's got 11mm dovetail rails, but as is common with all Huntsman series of rifles and quite a lot of other air rifles from different manufacturers, the magazine sits proud of the action. Now what this means is that you're going to need to use high mounts to get your scope to fit, and also you need to be careful in your choice of telescopic sight, because if you get one with a really protruding Erector spring case, like on some of the IORs, you might have trouble getting it to fit over the centre area of the scope. You might have trouble getting it to fit comfortably on the rifle. 90% of scopes you'll have no trouble at all, as long as you use high mounts. Also, if you did want to fit a night sight on one of these, though personally I would not recommend putting a night sight on this gun, because I think it'd just spoil it completely. You're going to have to sit it on the back portion here somewhere, and you will need some sort of Picatinny adapter, because the nearly all night sights come with an inbuilt Picatinny mount rather than a normal dovetail. So really, if I was you, like I'm going to do with this, I'd put a small hunting scope on this, not a dirty great big target scope or a night sight. It's not that kind of rifle. This is your sort of walker. It's so light and so handy size. This is more your sort of stalking gun, walking around in the woods or out in the fields with a small scope, and just bring it up and make the most of that quick on aim. The other thing I won't be doing with this, I will not be putting any sort of Picatinny mount on the front so I can fit a bipod on it. Again, I think that will spoil the essence of this rifle. It's not that kind of gun. I don't think so anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's just me, but to me this is a gun that you shoot freehand. If you need support, you lean on a tree stump, you lean on a fence, you lean on a wall or a pile of bricks or something, or you lie down and use your elbows, or you shoot kneeling down, use your knees. It's a gun that it screams out to be shot freehand rather than be propped up on some bipod. And again, I think sticking a bipod on the front of it's going to spoil it's going to spoil what this gun's all about. It's going to spoil the essence of this gun. This isn't a gun that you stick all those accessories that you can get for rifles these days on. You know, to stick a massive scope on this with a dirty great big side wheel, a fold out spirit level, a windicator and all that malarkey, and stick a flipping Harris bipod or whatever underneath here, take this buttstock off and put an adjustable one and all that. It just spoils the essence of the rifle. It's not that kind of gun. It's not. It's a classic sporter. It looks like a classic English stalking rifle. It really does. It's a beautiful thing. Its balance is sublime. It really is. You can tell that it's from a, you know, that it's had an evolution with this rifle. It's been developed slowly over the years, little changes here, little changes there, little tweaks. And rifles like that, generally speaking, when you get them, especially after the amount of time this has been in production, they reach a bit of a pinnacle and they start to become really, really well thought out. Because all the little problems, the little errors, the little things that weren't perhaps quite right with the first ones have all been ironed out. And you end up with a gun that's pretty much well sorted. And this is, I mean, I can't believe how well it comes up. I mean, really, you can't stop aiming the damn thing. It just comes up so well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount a small scope on here. Now I don't know what yet. The only spare scope I've got is a little Discovery VVT second focal plane one, which I might put on this just to get me going. But really, I haven't really decided what scope to put on it. I was thinking of putting one of Daystate's own MTC scopes on it, keeping everything pretty much in-house with this one, rather than a mix and match rifle. Just keep everything in-house. And I think a little MTC, one of the smaller MTC scopes, would probably look really nice on this. I'm not talking one of them reflex scopes, that would look awful on here. But something like a Mamba or a Mamba Light or something like that, I think would be really in keeping with this rifle. They take up to a 250 bar fill on these now. And you get plenty of shots out of that, well over 100 in all the calibers, well over 100 in all the calibers. It shoots Daystate's new magazine, though I will say, that don't do what I did. Let's put that down again. This morning I was going to go down the farm, in fact I did go down the farm, and I took the Delta Wolf with me. The idea being that they're having some problems with feral pigeons. So I thought, get down there dead early, take the Delta Wolf, be able to knock off a few pigeons. I took the terriers with me, because they seem to be a bit more relaxed when you see people with dogs. I think they're used to seeing people take their Labradors down. There's a couple of people got dogs down the paddocks. And the pigeons seem to be a lot more relaxed when someone's got a dog down there, because I don't think they feel threatened. So I was going to set up with the Delta Wolf on the bipod, sat inside one of the stables, get it all set up, perfect, pick these ferals off the roof of the barn and the stables in the opposite block. Should have been easy. So I packed everything away and in my rush reached in and grabbed the magazine, 177, and these mags are now black, by the way, not that blue colour. So I grabbed my 177 magazine, Delta Wolf, opens the front up, loads it up full of ammo, shuts it, puts it in my pocket. Gets down to the paddocks, puts the bipod on the rifle, gets all settled in, goes to put the magazine in the Delta Wolf, and it wouldn't fit. And the reason it wouldn't fit is because I picked up the magazine for this new Eagle, for this new Revere. And even though superficially they look exactly the same, so they've both got that opening gate and they both load with the spinning wheel and all the rest of it, and they're exactly the same size and everything, there are some differences. The ones for the Revere have got a groove cut in the back and a little pin here. And these are not, and the back part of it is not the same as the Delta Wolf. The Delta Wolf's got a smooth back with a little ball bearing detent. But because they were all sat in my gun cabinet like that, I just picked one up without looking, thinking, oh, there's a Daystate mag, picked it up, put it in my pocket and went down, and needless to say, didn't shoot a thing, because I couldn't, because I had the wrong mag. So the magazines, whilst they look superficially the same, they're not actually swappable between the Delta Wolf and the Huntsman Revere. Now they might be swappable between the Huntsman and the Red Wolf and possibly the Wolverine. I don't know, but they definitely will not fit in the Delta Wolf, unfortunately, because I was hoping to use do that doubling up of the magazines that you can do in the Delta Wolf. But never mind. So the video that I was going to make this morning of me down on the paddocks shooting ferals with the Delta Wolf, unfortunately was a bit of a dead end really. All it basically was a walkout for the dogs. So don't, if you've got one of these and you've got a Delta Wolf, do what I've done now. I've got two little boxes marked up. One's got Delta Wolf written on it and the other one's got Huntsman written on it. And the magazines go in those boxes in the gun cabinet. So that will not happen again. So the magazines will not swap between this rifle and the Delta Wolf. They may swap between this rifle and the Red Wolf and the Wolverine. I'm not sure. I don't know. But they certainly will not swap into the Delta Wolf. So there you go. Daystate Revere, and it's beautiful. The balance is unbelievable. It's such a beautiful gun, and it's so compact. That's the thing that gets you. When you open the box up, I've forgotten how compact it is. It really is a very small, compact rifle, and it's got that real quality feel to it. It's solid. It's a solid little rifle. It really is. It feels solid. Everything about it feels solid. It feels well made. You know, and then obviously I've not fired any shots through this yet, apart from some through the chronograph. It's given 11.4 foot-pounds with 8.44 grain sovereigns, and put some exacts through it as well. So it's right in there. It's right up, you know, up to the legal limit really. But I've not actually done any target shooting or hunting with it, or any sort of shooting really with it, because it's not got a sight on it yet. But if my experience with previous huntsmen that I've shot from friends that have borrowed and used out in the field and they've got them, accuracy won't be an issue. These things are phenomenally well sorted, you know, and it's not massively expensive either really. You know, you're in the sort of Wehrauch, sort of top end Air Arms Ultimate S510 type territory with one of these, and you're getting all that Daystate heritage in a properly sorted, beautifully made rifle, with a stock that is a thing of beauty. You know, you could hang that on a wall, but probably not a wise move, to be fair. My rifles all live in proper locked gun cabinets. I'm a big believer in that. I think you should keep your rifles locked away, really, both for their safety and for the safety of other people. But it is a thing of absolute beauty. It really is. It's so tactile. The stock is so tactile, and they've moved away as well. Some of the Huntsman, some of the other variants, the Huntsman had a sort of very shiny, sort of lacquered finish. On this particular one, they've gone back to oiled walnut stocks from Manelli, and I think it looks much classier than the shiny stocks that you get on some of their special editions and some of the earlier versions and different versions of the Huntsman that did have shiny stocks. These have now got a sort of, it's a slight sheen to them, but it's an oiled finish and it's beautiful. So there you go. Daystate Huntsman Revere. Side lever, don't be put off. I think it's great. It works beautifully. It's just the function of it's fantastic. It's so light and easy. You know, it really is. And I don't think that spoils the looks of this rifle in any way, shape or form. In fact, I think it adds to it. It looks really good. It's very, very elegant. And it's a beautiful, beautiful gun. And I just can't wait to get a scope on it. Pick a scope to go on it and get out there and use it, because it just shoulders so well. I can see this ending up being a big favourite. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and keep your eye out for the video that should have been of the Delta Wolf out in action, and there'll be some with this with a scope fitted as soon as I get it done. Hopefully it'll be by the weekend. I'm going to try and get for now I'm going to put that Discovery scope on it, so I can get out there at the weekend with it and give it a whiz. And don't forget to subscribe. Snory little chap here, fast asleep behind me, bless him. That's what a walk around the paddocks. It should have been a walk around the paddocks and a shoot ended up being. So don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.